Hey guys, welcome to another review. This time featuring guest stars Ben the Half-Blood Pirate and his friend Michael Reif. Feel free to
Reef.
Reef, sorry. Feel free to introduce yourselves.
Uh, hey there, Ben the Half-Blood Pirate. I'm from all the way from America, and I just brought my real life friend Michael Reif, also known as Dino Mike,
to help join our my two guests of honor here. You know what I mean, to help them out with this new review. And I really appreciate you bringing me for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. Anyways, today we will be reviewing the recent Disney animated sequel, Zootopia 2. Directed by the same guys who did the first one, Jared Bush and Byron Howard. They also did Encanto, and movie stars, an ensemble cast: Jennifer Goodwin, Jason Bateman back as Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, Idris Elba back as Chief Bogo. We got Kei Kwan, 14 Feimster, Andy Samberg, Shakira, David, or just whatever, Patrick Warburton.
Seth Aaron, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. We got Patrick Warburton, Quinta Brunstone, Danny Trejo, Alan Tudyk, Bonnie Hunt, and Jenny Slate, and we'll just leave it there because there's also cameos which I'm not going to spoil. But moving on to the movie itself, you guys introduced the plot without spoiling too much.
Well, the it from we left off the is it after Judy and Nick just completed their first case in the first film, they now become partners in the in the job of the occupation of being police officers, and of course now they're starting to doubt whether they work.
Around the same time, a new case starts to arise when a reptile, more specifically, a blue pit viper by the name of Gary, returns to Zootopia after 100 years. All we know is that he has something to do with a family of lynxes known as the Lynxleys.
That's correct. And anyways, there we go. There's your Proud to Beef premise for you. And before we get into it, I will say that I'm a huge fan of the first Zootopia film. Definitely one of my favorite Disney films of the last decade, the 2010s. And I'm glad after a 9-year wait, we finally got a sequel. And well, here's first off, what do I like about it? I would start with. I like how it continues the story well. Definitely worth, like I said again, almost a decade wait, but it was worth it, and it reveals why the reptiles weren't in the first one, and the song "Zoo" performed by Gazelle, voiced by Shakira, was a fun new song. What did you two like about the movie?
Personally, I also love the added world building. The first thing you should do for a very good sequel was try to build up the world with the rules established. And Zootopia 2 did just that, as well as answering a lot of questions of what many fans like us been wondering: where were the reptiles? Where are the birds? Where are other animals? And we do get that answer, and it's done very, very well. We're
Very
not going to
good.
get into anything else, but it really explains a lot and also helps with the message of the movie of not just dealing with how humans drive away animals in their effort to expand, but also sort of like class regulation with different races.
Yeah, it's all that symbolism, just like in the first movie, but it's but expanded more. In fact, in this may as well be Disney's biggest comeback since Encanto.
I
Definitely. I
agree.
think it's
Disney has been really
for that.
setting out a lot of flops and a lot of guilty pleasures and a lot of mid films nowadays. But it's finally a breath of fresh air to get a film that's pretty much a return to their Renaissance and revival eras.
Yeah, hope that stays true with with the upcoming films like Hexed next year and moving forwards. But yeah, even though, yeah, very true. I'm definitely grateful that people are enjoying it, and And I think with having Jared Bush and Howard at the helm, I think let me just say, Bush and Howard at the helm, it really helped a lot. And yeah, that really helped a lot too. But get back onto the film itself. Really enjoyed some new characters like Gary the Snake, the one voiced by Keho Kwan. He did a good job in that role.
Yeah, the same actor who played the Data from the Goonies.
That's right, and he won the Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep,
Along with Short Round from Indiana Jones,
That too.
apparently.
apparently.
Yeah.
I also like the male horse. What's his name? Brian, the one voiced by Patrick Warburton.
Wind Dancer, Brian
That's
Wind
right. Yeah,
Dancer, I think.
he was a good new character as
And
well.
and now he's the new mayor.
That's
Uh,
right.
but yet he's a stallion.
Mhm.
Yeah, they had a missed opportunity of making a pun on mare, because I mean, the stallion's a male horse and mare is a female.
Mhm.
But it's also a pun on the political thing.
True. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's also another thing I want to bring up. Like
Yep.
with Mayor Windancer, it really shows that, like what Bellwether said in the final film, the population's 90% prey, and it seemed after this thing happened with Lionheart, it seemed that the politicians of Zootopia pretty much prefer to be a prey animal instead of a predator for trust's sake.
yeah. After what happened with Lionheart, um,
Mhm.
plus I find that it's possible, in my belief, that Wind Dancer is kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger in
Yeah.
that
In a
regard,
kind of
for
way,
he was a
yeah. Since
former
he did
actor
recently. That's right.
and turned politician.
That's
Yes.
true. And of course, you got other characters like the Linksleys, who are like the villains of the film. Like you got that the one voiced by Andy Samberg, poor Bert Linksley, as well.
Yeah, and his siblings, voiced by Brenda Song and Macaulay Culkin,
That's
and
right.
uh,
Yeah,
and and of course the father, who's a David Strathairn, doing Milton, and he of course I think Milton does a little bit better as a straight up villain. I
that's
mean
true. Yeah,
the I mean there could be twist villains in there somewhere too, but Milton is probably the only villain in the movie that's straight up,
that's
Yes,
because
true.
yes,
we probably had our suspicions about him from the beginning.
yes, and
Mhm.
that's a good thing that the film learned from the first film. Like in the first film, we had no idea what the villain was. For all we know, the
Mhm.
villain was the racism, pretty much. But in this film, we pretty got a good idea that the Linksleys are the villains from the get-go. We do get a twist villain, which we're not going to spoil in this review, but it made sense for that twist villain,
That's
and
true. Yeah,
it made sense for the Linksleys to be front and center.
that's
And
right. Yeah, I very much agree with that. Most of the time, you should go for like a villain that's not a twist villain. I'd say, like, you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Anyways, oh, sorry, that was my phone. I was just put on silent, but yeah, overall, it was a very good sequel. Definitely going on my favorites of the year list when I get to it at the end. And but yeah, that's all I gotta say. And Disney, keep up the good work with animated films. If everyone else is watching this, definitely go see it if you haven't yet. If you have any kids or you got nephews or nieces, whatever, go with the family, go with friends, and I highly recommend go to see it and check it out if you haven't yet. What do you guys? You guys agree? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
And
yeah,
I heard
fully. This is
it's
a
already, yeah, it's doing really well already so far at the box office. I know that's not something I like to talk about, but it is doing really well with how much it's making. It's doing really well in China from what I heard, and because they're enjoying it. And so yeah, that's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching, guys, and give this video a like if you haven't yet. If you want to subscribe to Ben the Half-Blood Pirates channel, I'll put it down in the link below. And
And if possible, you can they can check out Michael's too,
yeah, as long
go
as by
on.
Instagram, and TikTok.
Okay,
as long as the yeah.
thanks. I'll get the links.
Oh,
I'll get the links at the end, but once I upload this video. But thanks for watching, and may the force be with you.